Lexie Hull takes a damn Dusty Rhodes bionic elbow, Cody Rhodes, the American Nightmare, no, the American Dream, Dusty Rhodes. When they take a bionic elbow right to the nose plate, where in the hell?
The Indiana Fever went head-to-head with the Minnesota Lynx, and while the scoreboard shows another loss for the Fever, the real story of this game came from a scary moment involving guard Lexie Hull and an elbow from Lynx star Kayla McBride. Cameras also captured Aliyah Boston's raw live reaction. The Indiana Fever walked into Sunday's matchup already in a tough spot. They were facing the Minnesota Lynx for the second time in just a few days. On Friday, the Fever lost a close battle at home, 95-90, a game where they actually had flashes of brilliance but couldn't quite close it out against the veteran Lynx squad. By the time Sunday rolled around, the Fever were short-handed, tired, and desperately in need of a bounce-back win. Unfortunately, what they ran into was a Lynx team that was locked in and dominant from the jump. The final score, Minnesota Lynx 97, Indiana Fever 84. A 13-point loss that highlighted the challenges Indiana is facing with depth, injuries, and consistency. Now, when you see that final score, you might think it was just another routine win for Minnesota, but if you watch the game, and especially if you caught the fourth quarter, you know there was nothing routine about what went down. That's where Lexie Hull's scary moment came into play. Fast forward to the fourth quarter. The game was already slipping away from the Fever, but they were still battling. Minnesota's Kayla McBride, a proven all-star and one of the league's best shooters, was going hard for a rebound. Lexie Hull, known for her hustle and grit, was right there in the mix. That's when things turned ugly. As McBride swung her arms fighting for the ball, her elbow connected directly with Hull's face. And not just a graze, this was full force. Hull immediately went down, clutching her jaw, and the entire arena went silent for a moment. You could feel the collective gasp. On the broadcast, the cameras zoomed in. You could see Hull checking her jaw, clearly in pain, clearly rattled. These are the kinds of moments that remind us how physical, how tough, and how dangerous this game can really be. The referees went to review the play, and here's where the controversy really starts. After review, they hit McBride with a technical foul, not a flagrant, not an ejection, just a tech. And immediately fans lit up social media, Twitter, Instagram comments, WNBA fan forums, all filled with people asking the same thing. How is that not a flagrant foul? The elbow was high, it was forceful, and Hull was clearly shaken up. For a lot of fans, that decision felt like the officials downplaying the severity of the hit. Now, here's where it gets even more powerful. As Hull was on the ground, cameras caught Aliyah Boston, the Fever's cornerstone player, rookie of the year, and emerging leader, just meters away. Her reaction said it all. She covered her mouth, wide-eyed, in shock. You could see the emotion in real time, the concern for her teammate, the disbelief at what just happened, and honestly, the fear of what it could mean for their already depleted roster. It's one of those moments where the camera angle tells the story better than words ever could. And for fans, seeing Boston's live, unfiltered reaction hit home. This wasn't just about basketball anymore. This was about teammates, about trust, about protecting each other on the court. Boston herself had a solid game, by the way. She finished with 14 points, 7 rebounds, 5 assists, plus a steal and a block, all in 34 minutes of play. But you could tell, that elbow to Hull, that whole situation, it rattled the Fever. And here's where we've got to give Lexie Hull her flowers. After taking that hit, after checking her jaw and regrouping on the bench, she came back into the game. That's toughness. That's grit. That's the kind of mentality that coaches love and teammates rally behind. Fans watching at home were relieved, because honestly, the Fever cannot afford another injury right now. Think about it. This team is already missing Caitlin Clark, Sophie Cunningham, Sydney Colson, and Aari McDonald. Out of those 4, Clark is the only one who might come back this season, and even then, her timetable is still uncertain. Everyone else? Season-ending injuries. For Hull to take that elbow, get checked out, and still play on, that's huge. Because if she had gone down with a concussion, a jaw injury, anything serious, the Fever's backcourt would be an absolute crisis. Injuries have been the defining storyline for Indiana this year. Caitlin Clark, the reigning Rookie of the Year, has been sidelined, but is at least showing progress. We saw her doing some work during shoot-around, which is encouraging, but there's still no clear timetable. Sophie Cunningham, Sydney Colson, and Ari McDonald done for the year. That's 3 major guards, 3 different skill sets, all unavailable. It's left the Fever short-handed and scrambling, and it forces players like Lexie Hull to step up even more, which makes Sunday's scare all the more terrifying. Indiana simply cannot afford to lose any more players, especially not guards. Hull's return was a sigh of relief, but the fact that she was even in that situation underscores just how fragile things are for this team right now. Now let's circle back to the controversy, because fans have not let this go. The debate online has been fierce. Should Kayla McBride's elbow have been ruled a flagrant foul? Technically speaking, the referees have discretion here. They look at intent, impact, and outcome. Was the elbow intentional? Probably not. McBride was just going for the ball. But was the impact severe? Absolutely. And the outcome? A player on the floor holding her jaw stunned certainly looked like flagrant territory. Some fans argue that the WNBA has to do a better job of protecting its players. Others say accidents happen and not every hard play should be escalated. But when you slow the video down, when you see the force of that elbow, it's hard not to side with those saying the refs missed the call. And of course, the conversation only grew louder once Aliyah Boston's reaction clip started circulating, because when your star player is visibly shaken, fans pick up on that. So where does this leave Indiana? They're 0-2 in this mini-series against Minnesota. They're down multiple starters. They're asking young players to carry the load, and they're still searching for consistency. Aliyah Boston has been a steady force, but without Clark, without Cunningham, without a healthy rotation, it's been uphill every single night. The good news? Lexie Hull seems okay. She didn't miss time after the hit, and unless something surfaces later, she should be available moving forward. That's massive, but the bigger picture is this. The Fever need to stay healthy. They need their stars back, and they need to build chemistry despite all the adversity, because right now, every loss feels heavier. Every injury scare feels more devastating.